Mr. Francy, and welcome back to Mr. Francy Reads. I am so happy. I'm sure you can tell. You guys, I am over the moon to be back on BookTube, doing BookTube stuff. And I know I've spoken about it many times, but I just want you all to know that I am, first of all. And secondly, I want you all to know just how thankful and grateful and humbled I feel after the overwhelming response I've received from all of you when I announced that I was coming back. Thank you so much. You all are just so amazing. When I quit, I know that a lot of you didn't necessarily want me to, but you understood where I was coming from and you respected it. And I really appreciated that. And when I came back, you all were there to support me again. So thank you so much. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I want you to know I have so much gratitude for you all. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all your support. We are back, we are loud, we are proud, we are here to do some BookTube stuff, and today we are doing my monthly wrap. So let's jump right in, shall we? Doing as per usual, putting the monthly stats up on the screen in 3, 2, 1, go. For the month of September, I read a total of 6 books comprising of 4 cozy mysteries and 2 fantasies. To my age groups, I had no YA, which is interesting, but 4 adult books and 2 middle grades. To my lengths, and I read 4 half-tomes and 2 novellas, totaling 1,309 pages. And to my star ratings, I had 3 5-stars, 2 4-stars, and 1 3-star. Okay, so there are a couple of things I do want to discuss with this monthly wrap. I had a number of different goals and I like to update them on my Discord. If you want to join me on the Discord, link is in the description. We have a lot of fun over there. So I am going to talk about more than just reading, but I'm going to start with reading. So for those of you who are just here for the reading, which is totally fine, we will do that first. And then for those of you who want to see the other stuff, we can discuss that once we're done with the reading. So a long video, but let's jump right in. So the first book that I read in the month of September was this book, Lemon Drop Dead by Amanda Flower. This is an adult cozy mystery, and I gave this book 5 stars. So in this particular one, this is, by the way, book number 6 in the Amish Candy Shop Cozy Mystery Series, which is my favourite Cozy Mystery Series of all time. We continue to follow Bailey King. In this situation, one of the girls, I won't spoil who, but one of the, women in the Amish country is pregnant, and so Bailey is asked to host a baby shower, and this woman's favourite flavour is lemon, which is why the book is, I'm so sorry about the glare, why the book is called Lemon Drop Dead. While at the baby shower, we end up meeting someone that we did not know, and unfortunately later that night, that particular person is found dead, and so Bailey has to try and solve the murder. I'm trying to keep my premises spoiler-free as possible because there's a lot more that I want to say, and if you've read the book, I'm sure you know why. We find out a lot about a particular character that we've gotten to know throughout the course of the series, and I really appreciated that. Look, I love this series so much. I think Amanda Flower is just a perfect writer for cozy mysteries, and this book was definitely no exception. I gave it 5 stars. I highly recommend it. I'm reading Peanut Butter Panic, the latest new release, this month in October, and cannot wait. 5 stars from me for this one. The next book that I read was this book, With a Charm on Top by Samantha Silver. This is book number 4 in the Spelford Cove mystery series, and I gave books 1, 2, and 3 4 stars. I gave this book 5 stars. Suffice it to say, it is my favourite in the series. In this one, we continue to follow Robin, our protagonist. Her and her boyfriend are taking a walk along the beach, and they end up discovering a body there. Someone's been murdered, so we have to try and work out, who the murderer was. I mean, it's a cozy mystery, so you expect that. But I mean, I love the series as a whole anyway, but this book was just so fantastic. There were little hints about certain things dropped here and there that had me convinced I knew who the killer was. I was wrong with who the killer was. However, the way the book ended, I was right about something else, which was great. Again, I'm being mindful of spoilers here. But I will say this, every time I've read a Spelford Cove book cover to cover, the next thing I've wanted to do is pick up the next one. But I would always stop myself and pick up something else because I wanted the series to last. With this book's conclusion, I could not do that. The ending is so enticing. Oh my goodness. I had to pull the next book, which I was going to read this month, forward and read it right after this one. So I obviously can't say what that ending is because it is a spoiler, but if you've read the book, you know what I'm referring to. It was so good. Now, for those of you who don't know, Robin, our main character, is a kitchen witch, and she doesn't know that she's a witch until about halfway through the first book. So we get to learn the magic and the magic system alongside her. But there is something going on with her father, who is not exactly the nicest guy, but he's extremely powerful. That's all I'm going to say about that part, other than to say that story continues on in this book. That kind of evolves, as you would expect, over the series, and I really enjoyed that. This was the perfect Spelford Cove book for me, and as I said, the next book I had to pick up was the next book in the series because I had to know what was going to happen next. I couldn't even sleep till I had read at least chapter 1 of that next book. 5 stars from me. So therefore, the next book I picked up was this book, Icing on the Curse by Samantha Silver, book number 5 in the Spelford Cove mystery series. So with this one, we pick up from the ending that I can't talk about. I really need to go back to doing reviews because there's so much I want to say. But the amazing ending from With a Charm on Top, we pick up with that at the beginning of this book, and that does become the major theme of the book. However, the mystery is separate to that thing. So with the mystery, Robin and her witch cousins end up noticing that a lot of people in Spelford Cove are acting quite strangely, and they think that there must be something behind it, and that becomes the mystery, which is really interesting because normally in most cozies I read, and certainly with every book in this series so far, we're dealing with a murder. But this time we're not. We're dealing with people's attitudes changing, and it's literally flipping to an opposite. So if you come across someone who's like Elle Woods in Legally Blonde, who's always positive, then now suddenly they are completely negative. And if you come across someone who's completely negative, now all of a sudden they're totally positive. And we're trying to work out what's going on here. I wasn't a big fan of the mystery aspect, but the overall theme that we pick up from with the end of book number 4 was so fantastic all the way through the book. It was just so brilliantly done, and the ending to this book, which concludes that thing that I can't say, was done so well. It was so good. Samantha Silver has taken me on a great journey, and I cannot wait to pick up the next book. I'm actually reading the second last and the most recent, so both of them, book in this series this month, and I cannot wait to get to them. This one received 4 stars from me. The next book I picked up was this book, which is The Shifting Sands by Emily Rodda. This is book number 4 in the Deltora Quest series. It is a middle grade fantasy series, and I gave this book 5 stars. So the first 3 books in this series, just like with Spelford Cove, received 4 stars from me, and this is my favourite in this series too, so there you go. The basic overall premise of this entire series is that in book 1, we have a prince whose name is Leaf. Leaf goes through his coronation, and part of the coronation is that you are meant to hand the prince or whoever's been coronated a belt known as the Belt of Deltora. This is a belt that has been forged with 7 different magical gems from different magical communities in this world of Deltora. While the belt strap is there, all of the gems are missing, so every subsequent book, we are going on a journey to try and find one of those gems. And I have loved this series so far. It's been fantastic. But what sets this book apart from the rest of the series for me is that in the beginning, Leaf and his companions who are going on this questing journey with him end up entering into a competition. And I love like games or competitions in books so much. And so that tipped the scale for me with this one. As far as finding the actual gem, I did appreciate that. Emily Rodda is really good with visuals. She's not a flowery writer by any means. It's a middle grade book, so you can't afford to be flowery and overly descriptive. But even her simplistic descriptions allow me to incredibly vividly see what is going on. See, hear, feel, smell, touch, whatever, all the senses. And I really appreciated that. 5 stars from me. I just love this series. So therefore, the next book I picked up was this book, which is Dread Mountain by Emily Rodda, which is book number 5 in this series. So there are 8 books in the series, and I would like to cross this series off of my SAS list by the end of the year. So there you go. So in this one, we're looking for the next gem, and it lies on Dread Mountain. Along the way, our characters meet this incredibly endearing species known as the kin, which kind of remind me of like Bambi and Bambi's family, and it is just so adorable. Oh my goodness. But yeah, when we get to the finding the gem part, that was incredibly interesting. I gave this book 4 stars. I still loved the book. I just didn't love it as much as the one that preceded it. But really enjoying this series so much. There's not a lot I can say. Every book is a novella. I highly recommend it for anyone of any age. And for adult readers out there who read a lot of books every month, one of the biggest selling points that I can give you is because they're all novellas, they're great refreshers. On one-time speed as an audiobook, it takes 3 hours to read each book. So incredibly fast and easy read. And yeah, an incredibly entertaining story and series, despite the fact that it's middle grade. So I do highly recommend it. 4 stars from me. So we haven't gotten to my 3-star book yet, and if you've been following me for a while, you may be surprised to find out which book received 3 stars from me, and that is the final book that I read in the month of September, this book, which is Body at Buccaneer's Bay by Josh Lanyon. This is book number 5 in the Secrets and Scrabble series. It is an adult male cozy mystery series that I have absolutely loved to this point. I love my cozies. I've read more cozies by far and away than any other genre this year, and I absolutely love them. And anyone and everyone who has ever recommended a cozy series to me, thank you so much. They are just such an amazing genre of book to read. What I love about this series is many things, but one of the biggest things I love is that it is a male cozy mystery series, which is not something that is normal for the cozy world. But I love the characters so much. Usually I'm a plot-driven reader, but one of the things I love most about this series is following the characters. So I'm very much a character-driven reader just for this series alone. But this particular plot in this book just did not appeal to me. We continue to follow Ellery Page, who is our protagonist, and his boyfriend, whose name is Jack Carson. Ellery runs a bookstore that he inherited from a relative, and Jack Carson is a cop. That sounds, very standard for a cozy mystery series, but it works for me with this series, so I appreciate that. They are going on some sea treasure hunt where they're like swimming in the lake or whatever, trying to find something, and along the way they find this thing, whatever you call it, like a sea diver helmet thing, and inside the sea diver helmet thing, I don't know, I barely swim, so they find a skull, so someone has been murdered, and we need to try and work out what's going on here. So I did not appreciate the mystery at all. Also, there were 3 mysteries that we're following. That was just the first one. The second mystery that we're trying to solve is that Ellery is being stalked by an unknown antagonist, so we're trying to solve that. And then a woman comes into Ellery's bookshop who has heard of Ellery solving other crimes in the other books in the series, and knows that he's a great amateur sleuth, so she wants to hire him. And one of my biggest issues with this book, and I had a few, but one of my biggest issues with this book is that we were dealing with 3 mysteries, but not one after the other. We were dealing with 3 open mysteries at one time, and that became incredibly confusing for me. I've read cozies in the past where we deal with a mystery in the first half, and then we solve that, and then we deal with a second mystery, but we were at one stage having 3 open-ended mysteries, and it was too much for me to wrap my head around. But I love this series overall. There's no way I'm going to stop with this series, and I love the characters. Very quick note about the series, though. Something very interesting has happened with it, up to where I'm up to now, moving forward. So Josh Lanyon actually wrote Book 6, this being Book 5. Josh Lanyon wrote Book 6 and Book 7 simultaneously, separately, but in the same time period. According to what I've researched, Book 6 was released, but then there was an issue with Book 6, so it was recalled to be rewritten or edited or something, and Book 7 had already come out. So now we're in a situation where Book 7 is out, it is already ready to go, and we don't have Book 6. So I'm kind of stuck. I want to finish this series, or at least get up to date with this series by the end of the year so I can cross it off my SAS list. But until Book 6 comes out, there's really not a lot I can do. But despite the fact that I gave this book 3 stars, overall, Secrets and Scrabbles is my second favourite cozy mystery series that I've read this year. And the first one is Amish Candy Shop. So I do love this series. I definitely will continue on. Just this book did not work for me. Okay, so that wraps up all of the books that I read for the month of September. Hang on. We haven't done the bit yet. We haven't done the thing, everyone's favourite game. So give me a sec, we will. And now for everyone's favourite game that we like to call Up. These are the books that I read in the month of September 2022. What books did you read in the month of September 2022? Let me know in the comments section below. But wait, we're not done with the wrap-up. So, if you are just here for the reading aspect of my monthly wrap, thank you very much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for your support. As I said earlier, I really appreciate it. You guys have just overwhelmed me with all of your love and support in such a good way, so thank you. If you are leaving right now, thank you very much. If you're staying, let's move on because there are a lot of other things that I wish to address. So, here we go. My next goal for the month was to write 5,000 words. I am currently writing my own cozy mystery, and I'm incredibly excited about it. So I wanted to, in order to keep myself on track, I wanted to write 5,000 words. I achieved this. What's interesting, however, is that I didn't achieve the 5,000 words within the cozy that I was writing. I achieved it in a novella that I've started to pen that connects to the story that I'm writing, to the full book that I'm writing. So yeah, I was really happy about that. I'm now halfway through that novella, and I kind of want to pen that out first and then go back to the rest of the book. But yeah, I achieved that goal, wrote 5,000 words, and I'm happy about that. I don't think there's any way I'm going to be able to write 5,000 words in the month of October because I'm starting a new job and I don't know what my hours are going to be. I'm on a rotating roster, so I don't know how much writing I'll be able to do, but I'm so glad I managed to achieve that goal in September. So the next category is crocheting. I'm currently crocheting a blanket, and I had the goal to crochet all the way up to row 12 out of 13, and I did achieve that. I'm going to cut now to show you the blanket. So I'm just ducking down here so you can see it. This is the blanket in the background. Basically, my inspiration for this blanket was winter. We've just gone through winter over here in Australia while you all in America went through summer. So I basically just wanted to do a simple blue granny squares with a white border. And yeah, so far this is how it looks. There's more down the bottom past the screen, but this gives you an idea. I'm pretty happy with it overall. I think it looks pretty nice. My only issue is that I wasn't fussy about the color and I was just using whatever tone of blue that I had. And I do regret that a bit because I can see the inconsistencies between the darker blue and the lighter blue. But aside from that, I'm happy that I managed to achieve my goal, and I'm basically one row away from finishing this part. So I've got one more of the long rows to do. And then once that's done, I want to do some more borders, like all the way around in white to make the edges thicker. But otherwise, it's nearly done, and I'll be able to give you a better update, maybe in a vlog or maybe in my next wrap. If you want to know more, let me know below. Okay, let's keep going. Next up, let's talk TV, and then I'm going to talk movies. So with TV, one of my first goals was to finish watching AGT, America's Got Talent. I did that. I then did a video that I put up about it. I did another video, and I don't know if I'm going to put it out or not, but basically I was ranking my top 12 favorite acts that have appeared on a Got Talent show. If you would like to see that, let me know in the comments below. But so far it's just sitting there. It hasn't been edited yet, so just let me know if you're interested in that. But I did finish it, and I was extremely happy with the outcome. I don't want to spoil it in case you haven't seen it, but if you have, I was very, very happy with the winner. So there you go. I also want to finish Big Brother USA, and I love Big Brother USA. I don't like the Australian one, but I was so happy with the winner in the end. Oh my gosh, what a great moment. Oh my gosh, so happy. So happy that I finished the show, but so happy with the winner. So that was good. I wanted to watch the first 4 episodes of Handmaid's Tale, the new season. I did that, and loving it so far. I wish that we had more moments where we were actually in Gilead than we have so far, because I think what drew me and potentially a lot of other viewers to the show is the dystopian world of Gilead itself, and we're spending a lot of time in Toronto in this season, and yeah, it's just not this, it doesn't have the same feel to me when we're not in Gilead. So I'm hoping the further we venture into the current season that we get to spend more time in Gilead. But I am up to date. I have seen the first 4 episodes. I wanted to watch the first 2 episodes of the new Survivor USA, and I have seen both of them. I had to think for a second, but yes, I have. I've seen both of them. And I liked it. I think one thing that I'm not really liking so much about Survivor is that we spend a whole ton of time, especially in the first couple of episodes, talking backstory so that we can get to know the castaways. And I don't really need that. For me personally, I don't necessarily want a backstory when it comes to a reality show competition. All I need to know is your name, and that's it. And then I can judge personally for my own opinion of who I like, who I don't like, with Survivor, based on your strategy that you use, where I feel like if you're going to give me a backstory, then viewers they also may not, but they may kind of have a favorite person because of the sympathy they have because of a backstory. So I don't like that. And there was a lot of backstory stuff that went on the first episode, which annoyed me. But aside from that, I like it. We have 3 tribes this time round to begin with, which I do like. I think it makes for a better competition overall. I enjoyed the first 2 tribals. We'll have to see how things go from here, but I'm enjoying it so far. It's Survivor, though. It's not really a big risk that I'm going to like it, because I usually do. And then I also wanted to watch... Initially, I wanted to watch the first 2 episodes of Amazing Race USA, but we are behind by a week compared to America over here in Australia. So I was only able to watch the first episode because the second one was not available. And I did that, so I marked it off as achieving that goal. And yeah, I enjoyed the first episode a lot. I love The Amazing Race. I have not seen every single episode. I have seen every episode of Survivor. I have not seen every episode of Amazing Race, but I do love the show. Phil is a great host. I love seeing all the different countries and all the challenges that they have to do. I just think it's fantastic. So I definitely enjoyed my time with Amazing Race as well. And I look forward to continuing on with Handmaid's Tale, Survivor, and Amazing Race, and enjoyed my time overall with AGT and Big Brother. To end my monthly wrap, it's been a long one. We're going to talk movies. I had a goal to watch 2 movies in the month of September, and I just managed to make that because the second movie I wanted to watch literally came out on the last day of September. But I did manage to watch them both. So let's talk about them very quickly. The first film that I wanted to watch was a film called Orphan 2, First Kill. So Orphan, for those of you who don't know, was a film that came out several years ago. It's a psychological thriller about a girl that gets adopted from an orphanage, and there's more to the situation than meets the eye. I want to say what it is, but it's going to give away a massive spoiler, so I can't. All I can say is if you like psychological thrillers, I highly recommend Orphan. It is so good. So when you can see in my reaction how much I loved it. So when I found out that they were doing an Orphan 2 with the same protagonist, I was incredibly intrigued, and so I waited until the first moment that I could watch it, watched it right away, loved it again, and they're considering bringing out an Orphan 3, and if they do, I will watch that one too. It is so good. So if you like psychological thrillers, I recommend it. If you don't, then leave it. If you've seen Orphan 1, I recommend checking out the alternate ending, because there was an alternate ending that was filmed that I think is better than what they ended up using. So that's what I would recommend. The second film that I wanted to watch was one that is a lot more well-known, and that was Hocus Pocus 2. I was incredibly excited going into this movie because I love Hocus Pocus 1 so much. The amount of times I've gone onto YouTube, and it doesn't have to be in Halloween, but, throughout the years since it's come out, to listen to I Put a Spell on You. I love that song. I love the 3 main witches, Bet and Sarah and Kathy. I think they all do a wonderful job, especially Bet. And so I was really excited when I found out that they were bringing out a second one. And the moment it came out, I remember being told it was going to come out at 5 p.m. Australian time on Disney Plus. And I am subscribed to Disney Plus. At 5:30, so it was half an hour later, at 5:30 I realized it was after 5. I checked Disney Plus, it was there, and I started watching right away. Ultimately, I was let down by the sequel. I love that Bet and Sarah and Kathy returned. I absolutely did. And I love them together as the Sanderson sisters. I think the chemistry the 3 of them have when they work together is fantastic, the way they work off each other. And, Bet deserves all the praise in the world, as does Sarah, as does Kathy. I've seen all 3 of them in many different things. I grew up loving Sex and the City so much. I used to write amateur columns on Facebook. So, I knew SJP quite well from Sex and the City. Kathy Najimy I knew very well from Sister Act, and Bette Midler from different things. One example being Beaches. I loved her in that. Was incredibly excited, but was ultimately let down by the movie. I just felt like they were trying to appease too much with certain audiences, and that did not work for me. And the conclusion incredibly let me down. So we're going to have to see how things go if we are getting a third one, which I don't know if we will. But, there's a sequel book, and I wouldn't mind reading it because I have been told that the sequel book is different to the sequel film. So I'll give that a go and see how things go there. But that is it. That is my entire monthly wrap for the month of September. Did you reach your goals? What did you do in the month of September? Let me know in the comment section below. But in the meantime, I am so happy to be back. But that is where I'm going to leave it for today. Letting you all go with peace, blessings, and so much love. Mwah. Please do be kind and love one another and spread your sparkling energy all throughout the world. And until next time, say it with me. Happy reading. Bye, everyone.